And I do believe that many of us that are here right now are really here in our remembrance, not in our training. We really have mastered that already, and we're really here to come with specific purpose of really helping during this time, because humanity needs it. Humanity needs so many of us that are in our remembrance. And that's what's happening right now. And that's why we're seeing the mass amounts of awakening that we're seeing on the planet right now. I believe it's really tied to the timing that we're in.
Welcome to The Reluctant Medium, where we cover the gamut of out there conversations. With an open mind and a curious heart, we want to talk about it all, from psychic phenomena and energy medicine to beings from other star systems and out-of-body experiences. You'll find a great balance between grounded science-backed topics and others that science hasn't quite caught up to yet. I'm your host, Dr. Maria Rothenburger, a psychotherapist by trade and a reluctant spirit baby communicator. And hey, even though I'm a medium, I'm not buying everything folks are selling. I just have a voracious appetite to know more about what I call the world of the weird. Join us on your favorite podcast platform or watch on YouTube at The Reluctant Medium. I'll see you there. Hey there. Welcome everyone back to the Reluctant Medium podcast. I'm Dr. Maria Rothenburger, your host, and I can barely sit and not fidget because today's guest, I have been waiting for, it feels like forever. I could not believe that she outreached at the perfect time to connect with me, because I've had certain experiences in spirit baby mediumship that I just don't have enough information, and this particular person keeps showing up. It just so happens that Ava Orah, that I am interviewing today, beautiful soul, has connection with this being. And I don't even know how many others I just said before that she wears 100,000 hats. But let's just say in general, specifically on her bio, what she's got. But then I would love to hear from Ava specifically. She is a trance-channeler, a renowned intuitive, and a spiritual teacher. I love this part, who helps emerging leaders expand their frequency and step boldly into their purpose as catalysts for humanity's ascension into the new earth. I can't think of a more profound and important piece of work than that right there. So, Ava, thank you. Thank you so much for outreaching and coming on the show today.
Oh, thank you, Maria. It's such a pleasure to be here with you, and it's just such a joy to really bring this wisdom forth. You know, as you said, I'm a trance channeler with. I'm not sure how many of your viewers are really familiar with the difference between a medium and a trance channeler and a regular. There's different forms of channeling. There's different forms of mediumship, and they're all sort of similar and sort of not. And so, with the particular flavor, I guess you could say that I channel is where I actually take a little bit of a back seat in my body and I have a specific contract with really a group of beings known as the Living Ma. And this group of beings is, well, the way that it's been described to me, I feel like it's kind of like excavating and finding these little treasure box of what's actually here. And it feels so big and vast and infinite. But the pieces that have come through that I've actually heard them share is that it's a living spiral of knowledge, similar to the Akashic Records, but it's a different vantage point or access point that is available for the Ascended Masters, for those that have mastered in their multidimensionality. And so they're like the bodhisattvas of our planet's multitudes of universes, however you want to look at it. So there's a collective of these beings, many, many, many beings that are a part of this Living Ma collective. And specific ones have agreed to come through at this very important time in history where we're all transcending and expanding and growing so rapidly, and kind of are really needing a little bit of support during this time, because it's just such a lot. It's just a lot for even the most advanced souls that are here, which many of us are that are listening in here. And so it's just an opportunity to receive a little bit of, hey, remember why you came? Remember why you're here? It's just that little bit of boost that I feel like we all need sometimes, of just that little encouragement, that little reminder of why we came, and that little bit of love and you've got this. Yes. You know, so that's a little bit. And so specifically the beings that come through primarily are Daina, who is a Pleiadian being. She gets a little bit mad when I call her a 13th dimensional being, because she's like, look, we're masters of the multidimensionality. We can go as far as you want to go. And there's something really, really special about 13, which is a whole nother episode in and of itself. We actually have, you can go find it on my website. There's a very specific code in 13 because it's the original human blueprint. It's our original DNA is a code of 13. So the original strands are actually 12. We have two turned on. There's 12 strands, and then there's a 13th, which is the central column that they all kind of spin around. And that's the original coding within nature, within all of creation, that we are actually moving back into as we ascend, transcend, expand, however you look at it, into 5D, new earth, whatever your words are for this transition that we're going through. It's really connected into this remembrance of who we truly are in this original coding of 13. So Daina the Pleiadian, who's so fun and so hilarious, and you'll get to meet her. You'll get to meet her soon. She's just great. And she is really holding that frequency of remembrance for the 13, because the Pleiadians have been there and done that. They've gone through their ascension process on their own planets, and they're here to help us because they've been there and they've gone through it. And Mary Magdalene is another one that comes through often, and Mary, Mother of Jesus, those three. And then St. Paul is also here with his whole category of, it's like, he's told me, you're going to go write book. You're just going to go off for a time and go write a bunch of books and tell the real story of why things got the way that they got within the Christian Bibles and everything that happened. So that's a whole nother thing that's coming down the road. But that's a little taste, and that's why it feels like, whoa, there's so much here. There is, and it's really all connected way more than we realize. So that's a little bit of an overview there.
Oh, gosh. I love everything that you said there. And I'm bringing it back to, because I definitely want to ask about you and who you are. But everything that you just said there is like, Ava's gone. She's over there. And everybody else is here. And they're just using this vessel to communicate, which is so beautiful. And I still want to know about you. How did you come to do this? Did you know that it's like, were you a kiddo who saw a thing? Like, how? Tell us about you.
Okay. Yes, this is really important, because I feel like it's similar. It's a different story, obviously, but it's similar to your path. And it's similar to, I feel like, a lot of us that are here at this particular time. I grew up in the Midwest. I'm a Midwestern girl. I didn't see the ocean until I was in my 20s. My dad was a Lutheran minister, so I grew up a PK, preacher's kid. So I grew up in a little town in Minnesota. We moved all around the Midwest, but I grew up playing cards, playing pitch, going fishing, like just a really homegrown lifestyle, going to church every week, going to Sunday school. Just that was the life, right? And I was, in Lutheran private school my whole upbringing. I didn't see a public school till college, which was a whole nother situation.
Wow.
So I really came from this really sheltered, even from that sense of like, I really didn't even see the ocean till I was in my college. I was really protected, even in that energetic form of what many of us have experienced we all have different upbringings, but I wasn't seeing things. I feel like my sister saw things more than I did. She was like, you see we'd move around all these different places. We've been in old farmhouses. My sister would be like, this room is not okay. There is this old lady wearing this wedding dress who's like really mad about something. And I'm like, I don't see her, And so I never had what other people would call it a gift or anything like that. I feel like I've always had my own special connection to God, source, creator, universe, whatever you want to call that. Partly because of my upbringing, but there was also something deeper than that, because I remember even as a young girl going to church and looking around, and we're singing Joy to the World. As a 5-year-old, I'm like, this is awesome. Like, let's get up and dance. Like, thank God we're not singing this, one of the other versions of these older hit songs, and nobody, this was like the best moment for a 5-year-old. And I'm looking around and all these pews, and everyone is like, I'm like, why, if we're all talking to God, why does everyone look so sad? And as a kid, I could never come to grasp with that. And I'm not saying that all religion is, that way, but in this particular version, in Midwestern Lutheranism, that's a lot of what you see there. And so I just couldn't come to terms with that. I needed to feel it. I needed to have that deep feeling of God in me, in my life. And so that was a little bit of my upbringing. And I say that because it kind of just struck like lightning, in the same way that these souls just started talking to you and just wouldn't leave you alone. It sort of happened in a similar way. I do believe that we all come in with certain gifts and proclivities, and that there is a divine timing to it all and a divine unfolding to it. And that some of us have been training lifetimes for the gifts that we're here to give in this particular time and season of humanity. And I believe that we are the souls that are coming onto this planet now. They're not coming necessarily to learn. They're coming to remember. And so we're not coming to learn new things, right? We've done the training, we've got the information. It's really a piece of remembrance and a timing to it all. So for me, I actually spent over a decade in an ashram-like environment in southern Arizona, where I was meditating upward of 6 hours a day, eating extremely clean food, juice fasting, eating raw food, like having a very, very streamlined, focused, inward approach to life for a whole season of life, a whole decade. And in that time, I didn't realize what was going on there, but I was really having training for the work that I'm doing now. I was learning how to get out of the way. I was learning how to quiet my mind. I was learning these skills of subtle inner awareness, of inner landscape, of how to actually navigate these subtleties so that when the timing was right, which I did not ask for. I was not getting online and Googling how to be a channeler. I had no interest in this whatsoever. And Daina will laugh about this and joke and says, we had no other way. We had to do it. I lovingly refer to it as the takeover, and not to scare anyone that doesn't know anything about trance-channeling. But I call it that because it was that much of a, whoa, here she is. And I guess this is happening now. I was literally on the phone with a couple of my girlfriends, and we were talking about places to go on the planet, or we were talking about a place in Spain where one of them had a home. And Daina literally came into my body, and I was close enough to still see it and hear it and be present with it and see what was going on. And she literally lists off about 12 different places on that side of the planet, from Southern Africa to Egypt to Rome to just a bunch of different locations, Alexandria, Jerusalem. She just starts naming all these places. And she's like, oh yeah, Spain's a great place because it'll be a great jumping off point for all these places around the world that you're going to go and activate. That you're going to go and activate the earth. And I'm like, what? And then she leaves. And my girlfriends are like, what the heck was that?
Happened.
And long story short, it happened. It kept happening. She kept coming through in these moments. And after a while, I started to notice when she was really close. And I was like, huh. And I told my girlfriends one day, I was like, she's just like right here. I wonder if I could just meditate and bring her in. I wonder if that's possible. So we went on a little corner, and I just, I just tried. I just said, I want to come in. And she came right through. And that's when I really realized our agreement or our contract, which was to do what we're doing now. And so it was really an unfolding in that way this is why it's the perfect podcast to be on, because it was very reluctant for me as well, the journey. But I do believe that there is a divine timing to it. And I do believe that many of us that are here right now are really here in our remembrance, not in our training. We really have mastered that already. And we're really here to come with specific purpose of really helping during this time, because humanity needs it. Humanity needs so many of us that are in our remembrance. And that's what's happening right now. And that's why we're seeing the mass amounts of awakening that we're seeing on the planet right now. I believe it's really tied to the timing that we're in.
Yes. Oh my gosh. So much to say about all of that. And I'm going to bring it back down to like the earth realm. And your friends were like, yeah, let's talk with this alien. Like, okay.
I knew nothing about the Pleiadians. I still do not research the Pleiadians. I don't have any interest in extraterrestrials. Like, it was like, you have to understand, a Midwestern girl this is not topic of conversation is extraterrestrials around. This is not happening, So
Midwestern Lutheran girl.
Yes, exactly. So yes, I have great friends that were like, yeah, let's talk to the alien.
So great. I just love that so much. Well, shoot, you like leaps and bounds ahead of me, because it took me 7 years to do anything but deny it. So, well done.
Oh, let me tell you, girl, when she first started coming through, she was like, oh yeah, you got to have a YouTube channel. And I'm like, excuse me? no, thank you. Like, do you realize how crazy this was? Like, let's just not,
Pass. Hard pass. No
Yeah,
thank
hard
you.
pass. Exactly. But then at some point, and this is for everyone, it's like at some point we really have to get out of our own way and really remember why we came. Because a lot of us really did come with missions that require us to be uncomfortable and require us to put ourselves out there in ways that wouldn't necessarily prefer to do. And so it has to be in the realm of being bigger than yourself in order to really allow what's meant to come through you to come through. Yes. And I had to go through that process myself of really getting to the point of like, you know what? This is bigger than me. I got to just get out of the way,
That's right. And the way that you described Ava being over here, like egos aside, like it's almost as if you don't exist, is exactly how, that's the only way, honestly, that it's worked. Mediumship has worked for
right.
me. And I don't channel, but it really is like Maria is over there, because otherwise what comes through is just way too filtered and cloudy and inaccurate. And so, okay, I would love to talk to Daina.
Me too.
And I just so for listeners / watchers on YouTube, little background, I talked with Ava about my experience of Mary Magdalene coming through. And I did not say this before, Ava, but yesterday I told you that Mary Magdalene came through in a reading. Mother Mary was also there. They were both there at the same time, which has never, ever, ever happened. Not once. And so I'm so fascinated by why this happens, and they show up with certain types of souls, babies that are coming in, and I'm so curious about that. For folks who are listening right now, we're going to be talking to Daina, and then hopefully Mary Magdalene comes through as well. She's like the main other person that I would like to talk to. I'm not sure about Mother Mary, but just for a heads up for people who are watching right now, this is so amazing and wonderful.
Yeah, I'm excited too. Yeah. So for viewers who are maybe experiencing this for the first time, so as a trance channeler, I do take a little bit of a backseat in my body, and I do allow Daina, who we do have an agreed relationship. So I just really want to clarify that point as a channeler. Because I do advise everyone to use discernment for whatever information you're choosing to hear, whether that's the news, whether you're scrolling, whether you're listening to a channeler, whether you're listening to a PhD professional who has done a lot of research. It doesn't even matter necessarily where the information is coming through. It's what is happening in your heart, what is happening in your body, and what feels true and appropriate for you in the time. And that is really above and beyond. If it's for you, it's for you, and so take the pieces that are for you. And if it's not for you, it's not for you. So leave the pieces that aren't. And so that's just kind of the preface that I give for everyone. And so what's going to happen is I just take a little bit of a back seat. Daina is very quick and very excited to come through. So some channelers take quite a while to, meditate or whatever they need to do. I did many decades of that beforehand. So it's a pretty quick process of coming through. And she's my gatekeeper. So she always comes first, even if we have a desire to talk with Magdalene, and that's the primary reason. She's going to come in first, crack a few jokes. She loves to sip the earth. What she means by that is she loves to take a little bit of tea and really ground into the earth, really feel herself in the body, because she's Pleiadian. She doesn't get to do that very much, So she's going to invite all of you to do that as well. So for those who've ever listened before, I always invite you to grab your own cup of tea or even water, to have that, because it does create a nice heart circuitry for us all to connect in together. And then we'll see where the conversation goes, and we'll see if Magdalene wants to come through. If she does, it's a very different frequency. You'll get to see that as well. And if Mother Mary comes through, and you just never know where the conversation's going to go, but you're bringing it up now, and she's here, obviously, so I'm just going to name. She's very more, her frequency's powerful, and it's a soft power. So her voice is quieter, but they're all so loving, and they're all right here all the time.
Yes.
So unless we have any... this is amazing. I'm so excited for this conversation because... of just what's coming through for you, and I'm sure that these are going to be such great questions. So
yeah, I don't even know
unless you have any other
I'm
questions.
Ask.
Oh yes, you'll figure it out. It'll be good. we're just going to be watching with our jaws on the floor, like, what is happening? All right. So without any further ado, I'm going to go ahead and go right out, and we'll put you in touch with the Pleiadians. Here we go. Greetings. This is Daina of the Pleiadian family. You see, we are here. You see, we like to say first and foremost to bring the love. You see, to bring the love. You see, because you always have to do the checking. You see, make sure that the beings coming through are of the high frequency that are for you. You see, that they're actually for your best. You see, so we are really just here to tell you we are for your best. We are for the love. You see, we are for the love and the light. You see, and if they are not for your best, you see, they will not be able to even say the word love, let alone say the word God or any versions of that. You see, they will not even be able to say these things. You see, so this is a really simple way to check. You see, with anything, this is a little bit sidetracked to our conversation here, but this is what we're going to say. You see, so if you are, because many of your listeners are developing these skills. You see, mediumship, psychic abilities getting turned on very quickly. You see, with this day and age. You see, so as you are getting more connected with the big world out there of the astral, which is 50-50, you see. It's not all the good guys, you see. It's not all the bad ones either, you see. About 50-50, you see. So you have to have discernment, you see. So you have to be able to know how to discern in these worlds, you see. And one real easy way is, do you love me? Can you say I love you, you see? They can say, I love you, you see, we're good to go, you see. And then really just asking and getting clarity on the connection, you see. Why are you here? What you doing? What you want? You want some tea, you see. Speaking of the tea, let's just have some earth here, you see. We have a sip of the earth. And we like to, what is happening here? So let's just really just say it, you see. So we are sipping the water and the earth frequencies, you see. So we are really getting into all of the circuitry with the heart, you see, connecting in with all of you as well, you see. So this is a way to really open and connect us all together in one little circle, you see, even through the all the screens, you see, we can do. You see, this is how magical you are. You can really connect in a circle no matter where you are on the planet, you see, with a little sip of the earth. You see, we see where we are. Let's see where we are today. We are in the rose bushes, you see. We love it, you see. We're in the rose bushes, very high frequency, you see. So it's very good, you see. And how are you, my dear Maria? It's very good to see you once more.
Oh, you are such a delight. Welcome, welcome. Thank you so much for coming today and being present with all of us. I cannot wait to hear your wisdom.
Oh, it's very good. You see, we are very, very pleased to be here, and we are excited because of the work that you do too. Because you really are connected in with the astral world, the souls coming in. You see, and so we have a very fascinating conversation at hand. You see. We'll stick around a little bit more as we get the party started here, and then perhaps once the party is good and going, then we'll leave it to Magdalene to get it to bring it into the realm of the serious. You see,
okay.
And then we'll finish it up with Daina. We'll crack a few more jokes and make sure everybody leaving feeling very good. How does that sound?
That sounds beautiful. People,
very
I think,
good.
will feel good no matter what, and I love that plan. It's wonderful.
Yes, Magdalene's very beautiful. It's very different. Just very different.
Yes, she is beautiful. Daina, I would love to ask you. Ava said something earlier that struck a chord in me, and I'm wondering about your thoughts on folks who are here already on the planet, but also who are incarnating. The theme around remembering. Can you speak to that?
Well, this is very good. This is a very powerful word, you see. Because remembering implies you already know, you see.
Yeah.
So this is very, very important part here, you see. So we can say that the souls coming here are not the newbies, you see. We've done some episodes here. Ava does the podcast too, you see. We've done some episodes where we are talking with Gaia, with Mother Earth, you see, about the new Earth, you see, what it's going to look like, all these things you can go find, you see. But really, it's a good one because Daina doing the interviewing to Gaia, it's very fun, you see. We get to ask the questions, you see. But what we'll say here is that when all the souls that are coming here, all the ones from Lemuria, all the ones from Atlantis, you see, and very many more, all coming at this particular timeline, all coming at this particular moment, you see, to watch the big show, sitting with the popcorn, you see. So you are the lucky few that are chosen to be in the bodies, you see, in the remembrance. So a lot of times you come and you're in the timelines where you're simply in the forgetting because you're in the density, you see, nothing new under the sun there, you see, doing our best, you see. But this particular timeline is very different because, yes, we've all come into we'd like to say the 3D meat suit, you see, here we are, you see, but we also have this special thing that is happening where we are going through this metamorphosis in the body. You see, there is a metamorphosis process. Similar, you know the story of the dragonfly?
No.
So that dragonfly, very interesting. They live in the water for 7 years.
Oh.
7 years. Then in one day, 24 hours, all of a sudden they decide, because it's the right moment, you see. Now they get up and they are now a dragonfly with the wings, you see. Going from the water to the air, to the land, and experiencing an entirely new body, entirely new world. You see, literally, imagine living in water your whole life, and then all of a sudden you are flying. In one day, you see. This is the level of dramatic transformation that is happening within the human form in this timeline, in this particular window of time, you see. And it is encoded in the DNA. So there is nothing that's stopping it. It is really literally part of the way that you were created itself, you see. So we are coming to a ripening, a fruition, you see, where we are ready to eat the fruit, so to speak, you see. So all the souls here are coming, you see, are not the new ones. They're not the newbies, you see. These are souls that have come, been round the block many times, gone all over the place, you see, been in Pleiades, been in Lyra, been in the Arcturian, been on Orion, been all over the place, you see, been on the earth, been so many places, done so many things, tried it many other ways, you see, split the soul up over here and over there, try it that way, go over here, go over there, try it that way, be the good guy, be the bad guy, try it that way, you see, we've done it all, you see. So now we're coming back with a very specific mission to be in the remembrance of our mastery, you see. So the souls that come now have mastered in the multidimensionality. You've been the enlightened ones in other times, in other timelines, you see. So now it's like you can look at these gurus and say, okay, there's something going on there, you see, but there's a deeper part of you that says, I know that, you see. I know that. I know what they speak to, you see. And the remembrance is in both ways. And what we mean by this is remembering into the infinity of the nothing, into the 0 point, into that nothingness. So knowing yourself in the void, you see, whether you go to meditation, get rid of all the ego, get rid of all the I ams, you see, take off all the hats, you see, get it down to the bare bones, you see, knowing yourself in that place. And then also knowing yourself in the infinite of who you are as a pure soul, singing your soul song loud and clear in the universe, you see, in all of your fractal multidimensionality. So as the unique fractal in consciousness, knowing yourself in that wholeness, you see, knowing yourself in your uniqueness as you come in a very specific flavor. So you are a flavor in consciousness. And it's important that you are singing your soul song loud and clear because there's only one of those soul songs. It's you see. We all have a different one. Oh, so the remembrance is really remembering your soul song, you see, remembering your essence, remembering who you are, both in the nothing and in the something, you see, knowing the fullness of who you are. Isn't that fascinating?
It is fascinating and beautiful, and it fills my heart up. I'm hearing you say that, you know, we've been all of the parts. We've done, you know, be the bad guy over here, be the good guy over there. It sounds to me like you're saying, yes, nothing's bad. Nothing is good. It's all just how it is.
Precisely. And this is a hard one for the humans to grasp because they look around the world. They say, well, look at all this pain. Look at all this suffering. Look at all this separation. Look at all these wars. You see, look at all the things in the planet, you see. And it is true that it is painful, You see, we're not here to bypass any of those experiences, you see. The thing to remember, though, is that it is all part of the same one. So you are part of this experience, you see. And souls that are fractaling into these chosen moments of pain, you see, what we would perceive as pain or suffering or separation or bad or evil, you see. We have to understand that they are doing exactly the job that they signed up to do. The dark or the evil, whatever you want to call, you see, they're for a specific purpose, often to wake up the light, you see. They play a dance together. So you cannot have one without the other, you see. So you have both frequencies so that there can be a play, so there can be a dance. So we can have the mirror, the experience to be able to say, oh, wow, yes, there we are, you see. And over there we are too, you see. Then we come into a very polarizing world such as Earth, where the extremities are one of the most dramatic in all the planets, you see. So then you say, okay, well, the souls, you have a certain amount of souls that come into this polarity saying, well, we can learn how to love on the Pleiades. That's rather easy to do, you see. Not having the extremity, you see. What about we come to Earth, you see, where there is all this pain and suffering, as well as all this bliss and opportunity. If we can learn to love in a place where there is so much polarity, wow, well, then we are really the masters of the love, you see.
Aha.
This is where they come.
Ah, yes. I hope that folks rewind that and replay what you just said, because that's the basic question that folks have, right? Why is all of this pain and suffering here? And what you said, thank you so much. That was beautiful. And please rewind what people, if you're listening or watching, rewind that and re-listen. Thank you so much.
Well, I'll say a little note on that one, you see, because whenever you are listening, especially to the frequencies here that are coming in, you see, you could just hear the frequencies and not the words, and you'd have a good day, you see. And there are so much that is communicated in these few words that you will hear a new thing every time you listen, you see.
Yes.
You will hear a new thing every time you listen, you see.
Yes.
Because you are in a different moment. You are in a different frequency or in a different readiness, you see, to hear what you need in that moment, you see. So it is good to rewind, do the playing back, you see, hear it again, you see, even if you think you got it all, you see, hear it again just to have a good day, you see. So this is really important, you see. So we just want to emphasize that it's a good idea to do.
Yes. Thank you. I love this so much. Daina, is it possible to allow Mary Magdalene to come in?
Oh, yes. Yes, my dear. She's very, very close. You see, you have some questions for her as well, you see. This is good, you see. Very good. So we will take a little step back. You see, Magdalene likes to come, you see. She likes to tone her way into the body, you see. So you hear her toning, you see, as she comes in, you see, getting in there. And then she demands the presence, you see. She demands it, you see. She commands the room. So you get to experience that as well. So, and then we'll be back, you see, maybe have another joke, you see. Maybe we'll take a little bit more sip here before we leave because... we won't get another opportunity very often here to have such a rose, beautiful rose from your earth. It's so sweet, you see. It's so very good. So anyone else that would like to have a little sip here, we are sharing the love together. Here we go. And that's also for Magdalene, you see. She loves the rose too, you see. So maybe perhaps we know she would like it too. So here we go. We'll bring in the Magdalene for you now. Blessings from the Pleiadians. Here we are. This is the one you know as the Magdalene, also known as Mare I Am. Magdalene is a title that was given to this one as not of the name, but as what you would consider a nickname, for example, meaning the tower. The tower refers to the fact that Magdalene, in the day of when she was teaching at the Sea of Galilee, walking with Yeshua in this time of your history, teaching the women at the Sea of Galilee, it was almost palpable, almost seeing with the naked eye, the column of light coming out of her crown up to the heavens and down through into the earth, which would also be considered the activation of the 13th strand of the DNA of the human, being in the frequency of divine union within. When you are in the frequency of divine union within, you are in the full activation of the 13, which is the original blueprint of the human. So the name Magdalene is simply a nickname, meaning the tower, because her frequency literally towered to the heavens, and the white light that towered from her crown was so noticeable that she received this nickname. You see, is this to the understanding?
That is to the understanding. Thank you so much. I appreciate your presence here today. And I have some questions around your presence in some of my spirit baby readings, Miriam. You've been quite present in a few of them. I feel the same energy in my sessions that I do right now. And I'm curious why, why you are showing up in some of these sessions lately. The energy that I'm receiving is around the people, the parents, the intended parents being offering themselves love and compassion. It's for the parents that you're coming through, and I'm not sure why.
Yes. The reason, my dear, is exactly what we were saying at the beginning. We're connected to the frequency of divine union within. This was the original teachings of Magdalene and Yeshua, otherwise known as Jesus. They walked together and they taught the frequencies of union within the form, you see. How to master the frequencies of the divine masculine and the divine feminine within the form so that they can come to union together in the most magnificent and glorious, beautiful and balanced way, you see. So the frequency of remembrance that is experienced simply from the presence of Miriam brings a frequency into the field for the entire family of remembrance of the divine union within. This trickles into the frequency of the parents to be and presents an opportunity of remembrance within their form, because literally the frequency is informing their form. All creation, whether you are eating food, whether you are taking in news, whether you are reading a book, whether you are sunbathing, whether you are listening to a conversation, whether you are engaged in an argument, all of these frequencies are forms of creation. They are subtle, energetic, sacred geometrical patterns of the universe. And they inform your sacred geometrical pattern of the universe, otherwise known as your body, otherwise known as your being, otherwise known as your consciousness. So when you are engaged with life, you are choosing to reform moment by moment your form. So you are choosing to take in a new pattern. When you eat, you are taking in a new pattern. When you are eating of another animal, you are taking in the pattern of that particular animal, that consciousness, that soul, the experiences of that animal. When you are eating another plant, you are taking in the consciousness, the experience, the codes, the information contained within that plant. Those codes then are coming into your form and reforming, recoding, restructuring, and reorganizing your sacred geometrical pattern, otherwise known as your body. When you reform your body enough times by reintroducing the same pattern, for example, eating of high-frequency raw food, for example, but if you eat enough fruit over time, you will notice a different pattern taking place. Someone will say, oh, your eyes are glowing. You look like you're glowing. What is different about you? There is a difference because you are repatterning your form, you see. Green juice, if you are juicing and taking in more green juice over time, what this does is it brings more life into the form. It shifts the form. So when we are talking about the frequency of Magdalene coming into these, the field of possibility of these souls coming into families, we are entering the family unit, the field of the family unit, the form of the family unit, by invitation on a soul level, you see, because it has to be done by free will, you see. So these are souls that have agreed on some level to have the remembrance of what it is to be in divine union within. This is important because this is the phase that we are coming into within the consciousness of our world right now, are coming into a deeper level of remembrance of what it means to be activated in our original 13 blueprint, which is in itself the essence of divine union within. The 13 represents the merging, the love, the marriage of the divine masculine with the divine feminine within your own form. So this is a process of integration, of alchemical process of merging and coming into holistic love, union, and remembrance within yourself. So these patterns are then available for these parents to receive on multiple levels of consciousness, whether it's through their dreams, whether it's through their own connection with this soul who's also being repatterned into this deeper level of remembrance. It is providing a blueprint for them to tap into, so that as they bring in a soul into this world, they are starting with this blueprint of the original 13 design of remembering the importance of having that frequency of foundational remembrance of merging the divine union within, so that when you are moving through the world, you are moving from a place of wholeness. This is the place where we come into sacred partnership, coming into divine union with another, is from this place of wholeness within. Is this to thy understanding?
Yes, it is. Thank you. You've also been present. You've been present a lot with sessions wherein my client has experienced pretty profound loss, miscarriage, late-term pregnancy losses. Can you speak to that?
Yes. It is important to understand, and we will say as well that the being through which we speak here, also you call Ava, has also experienced this level of loss, you see, multiple times, you see. And it is quite common in your world, you see. A little bit less talked about, but it is very common, you see. And so we hold the hearts of all that have gone through this grieving and this loss, you see. That said, it is important to be in the remembrance and the understanding of the larger picture at play, meaning that every soul is choosing experience in this world, you see. So there's already been an agreement made on a soul level to experience this particular relationship with these babies, you see, with these souls, you see, for whatever the length of time, you see. We make contracts with souls to come in and have certain experiences. There's an infinite level and number of reasons why we would agree for a soul to come in for any length of time, whether it's for 2 weeks or 95 years. You see, we have this relationship, this cycle of time that we experience here on Earth. Sometimes it is literally to create healing, to create a clearer portal for a healthy form, a healthy baby to come through, you see. Sometimes the soul genuinely wants to experience what it is to be in the womb and come through in that particular way without experiencing life on the other side of the portal, you see. Sometimes all that is necessary is a little touch point of closure for the soul with the mother, for example, or closure of the soul with another. Because when you are embodied, even within the womb, you then have a little bit more accessibility to the third dimensional reality here. So you are more available to have these connections and to go through any closures that you may have needed to have in other dimensionalities, you see. So these are just a couple examples of reasons why a soul might choose to come into a mother without choosing to be birthed and have what we would consider a normal life, you see. So this is one particular reason for that. Why we are coming in these moments, you see, is to provide this deeper level of remembrance so that we can hold the souls for the roles that they play in our lives. Because it is easy to get caught up in the victim of it and to be in the grieving of it. And we are not saying to not grieve. It is important to honor the process of the human form, you see, to go through the entirety of what is present there, to what because that is part of your agreement as well, is to move emotion in a particular way. So you're choosing to experience the grief of loss of a child, you see. So allowing that process to be, because it is what you chose to experience, you see. So not to bypass it, you see, but to experience it in its fullness, and then to know when it is complete, you see, and to recognize the gift that that interaction gave to both of you and to all that were involved, you see. So we are simply holding in the remembrance of what is possible in perspective, taking the wider lens approach of why souls come, you see, and how it can be even more of a blessing than we even realize, you see.
Yes. My goodness. Yes.
We will say one more point about that, which is that we do not own souls, you see.
Yeah.
They are not ours.
Yes.
You see, we tend to talk about our children, that they are our children, you see. We are stewards of these souls, you see. We are stewards of the souls in the same way we are stewards of the earth, you see. It is a circuitry of relationship, you see, of sovereign being to sovereign being, you see. Recognizing that every being is sovereign, every being is choosing experience, and that at times these overlap. And in these moments, this is where we get to dance together. We're saying, yes, I'll choose to dance with you in this particular way, you see. So when you recognize that you made the choice to dance in that particular way, dance, you see. Even if there are tears streaming down your face through it all, you see.
Yes, I do. That is absolutely beautiful and profound. Reminds me of Khalil Gibran, children come through us, not for us. That is beautiful. Mary Magdalene, I want to thank you for coming to my sessions with clients and for speaking today and being present today. If you have anything more to say, that's wonderful. I would love to hear. And also, if we're able to connect also with Mother Mary, Mother of Jesus, that would be beautiful too. Either way.
Very good. We are happy to bring in Mother Mary. She is not requested often and is always an honor to do so, you see. So we will allow her frequency to come through so that you may be in the fullness of the experience of this particular triad between Daina and the Magdalene and the one you call Mary, Mother of Jesus. So with that, we send our blessings and we will bring in Mary. Greetings, dear soul. It is an honor to be with you here today.
Oh, goodness. Thank you.
We feel very grateful to be in your presence once more, you see. Because as was being communicated earlier, we are all in the remembrance of the infinite of our souls.
Yes.
So this is simply one more touch point, which we are grateful for in this particular moment.
Thank you so much. I am exceedingly grateful for your presence here today as well. I actually feel on the verge of tears because of your immense love that I have felt in mediumship sessions with folks. And so I just want to thank you in advance for your presence in those sessions and here today. Thank you so much.
Yes, it is an honor.
I have some questions around your particular presence in mediumship sessions for a specific type of soul that is apparently incarnating now, called the pink Starlights. And I'm curious about your specific connection to them. I can only get, it seems, periphery information around why you are so connected to these particular souls and why you show up when they are coming through to me.
Thank you for your question, my dear. It is infinite in its answer because it is the frequency of the heart that is being activated in these souls because the timing of the souls coming onto your planet at this particular time are ones that are coming through with the frequency of the heart activated in such a way that they are in the divine remembrance of union within. this was the mastery, is the mastery from which all that speak through this one have come to an understanding of, an experience of throughout multiple dimensions, timelines, and levels of existence. So as we are coming into a new way of looking in this world, a new way of being, we are coming into a time where the souls that are coming through do not need the same level of protection as the souls that have come thus far, you see. Because there is going to be less of a level of polarity in the sense of we are coming into a period of rest. We are coming into a pause, a sacred pause within the breath and the cycle of creation, where souls get to rest and dance together in the remembrance of love, in the creative remembrance of who they know themselves to be. So these souls are coming in to be in the creative expression of love. So the reason that you will find not only myself, but Magdalene and the Pleiadian frequencies there as well, oftentimes, is because of the mastery of the heart that these particular frequencies carry. So there is a remembrance of and a connection. And so there are these souls will swim together, almost like dolphin pods, you see. Because it is fun, because there is the love, because there is the remembrance, because it is of similar frequency and vibration. So we are having a resurgence of souls coming onto your planet that are coming with open hearts, with the remembrance of love, simply for the experience of it, without the need to have any buffer zones or any clearing of traumas or coming into hard situations, so to speak. So we have a whole, what you could call angelic force coming through within the next decade for this particular reason, simply to experience the cycle of love and rest. Is this to your understanding?
Yes, it is. And something that you just said there made me have another question around, well, there's two things I'd like to say. One, I am not particularly a religious person, and yet I feel that you show up for me personally quite a bit. I don't think religion has anything to do with it. And so I just want to put that out there for folks who are listening or watching. The other question that I have, when I try to describe your energy to people, I will often say things like, it doesn't matter who you are or what deeds you have done or not done. You can be Adolf Hitler and Mother Mary says, come in, I have a hug for you. And I'm wondering about that. What is that energy that's so accepting and loving and compassionate? Again, it brings me to tears almost. There's such a depth of love that emanates from you. And I'm wondering about that. And is that something that folks can tap into, or is it worth tapping into for themselves? Just, if you can speak to that.
It is always worth tapping into the frequency of love, because it is from which you come. The energy of what you are experiencing, what you are tuning into and feeling, is what is possible for all humans, you see. It is your natural resting place. So I come to many to remind you of your natural resting place that is available for you. And it is simply the mastery of the heart. It is simply the availability of being one with the infinite multidimensionality that is present within the well of your heart, you see. Because love is infinite, you see. Yes. Your heart is infinite. It is the portal to both the known and the unknown, the capacity from which there is no bounds, you see. So the capacity for love is infinite, as are you as a soul, you see. So as you come into the deeper levels of awareness of who you are on a soul level, you begin to realize your infinite nature. So the presence of not only myself, but other ascended masters who speak through this one is simply the remembrance of love that is available for all, you see. It is nothing, quote unquote, special. There is nothing different necessarily, other than the fact that there has been a mastery over this, meaning we have spent many lives coming into this deeper remembrance of love, opening our heart over and over again for the remembrance of love, you see, deepening within that experience. And it all comes back to the deeper levels of understanding the portals within the human form, you see, and knowing how to work with them as a creative force. And you are right that it is not bound by religion, you see. It is unfortunate that it has been tainted in that particular way, and that is soon coming to light on your planet, you see. So this information, this frequency, the love of Mother Mary, you see, is for all, you see. You can be quite religious. You can have a different belief system altogether. You can believe nothing. You can believe everything, you see. It is all anchored in the frequency of love at the end of the day, because it is from love that all is created. So all the polarity that you experience on your planet is anchored in the root of love, which is hard to understand for the mind, you see, when it looks at the polarity as you spoke of earlier, but the heart can hold it all, you see. So that is the remembrance, is that the heart is here to hold all experience, to hold all frequency, without judgment, without blame or shame or any kind of imprint. It simply is, and it simply allows all to be. It allows all souls to sing. It allows all beings to be. It allows all frequency to exist in its purity, in its essence, and in its fullness, you see. So this is the way of the living Ma frequency, this collective that we speak from today, you see. This is the essence of it, is love.
Yes, okay. Is there anything that we can leave listeners with around how to be practical then around when difficult things happen, when negative things happen, when the global energy that's now is very intense and edgy? How on a practical level can folks channel or touch base with the love in order to manage the difficulty?
Yes, my dear, this is a very important question for everyone to understand, that you'd all come, and this is one of the laws of your universe, is with the power and the choice of free will. This is not to be underestimated or taken lightly, you see, because when you do take it lightly, it is easy to slip into the realm of victim mentality within the frequencies of what you experience in your day-to-day reality. However, when you choose to be a full steward of your energetics in all the dimensions, in all the worlds, you see, and you really come to understand how you are choosing to show up and what you are creating, because it is all coming from you, then you begin to understand that you are creating it. When you can come to this level of awareness, you see, that you are a part of this co-created reality, you see, and that there are players, you see, that also know what they're doing, you see, even though it may appear as though they know not what they do, you see. To trust that there is a bigger dance at play, knowing that there is the play of light and dark that actually makes the world go round, you see. But the point here that we will say on a practical level, because this was the nature of the question, is that you have the free will choice to put your focus on the frequencies you choose to experience, and to recognize on this very simple level that where you put your focus, this is the frequency you will experience, and that this creates a circuitry loop in your reality that brings more feedback of that which you put out, you see. So if you choose to experience the fear, because this is a big one for your collective right now, is that many are choosing to be in the frequency of fear. You see, so then if you're choosing frequency of fear, because on some level, on a subconscious level for most, you see, there is this thought that if we stay afraid, then perhaps we can control it, you see. So there is this loop here of desiring to control that which we actually do not have the realm of free will to control, you see. Not that we do not have the power to control it, but that we do not have we are not in resonance with the laws of the universe to control on that level, you see, because there are other souls involved who also have free will, you see. So we are playing this dance, you see, with free will, with all the souls on the consciousness, you see, who are all making individuated choices that all affect the whole, you see. So the part that you have the capacity then to be in right relationship, not with only everyone, but more importantly with yourself, because that is where it really gets good, you see, is to be in the circuitry within yourself that is choosing to be in deep accountability for where you put your energy and your focus. Knowing that if you put your focus on more fear, if you are using your time to be on the screens and scroll on places that are going to give more energy to fear, you see, that is going to be your feedback loop is more fear, you see.
Yes.
You have other choices, you see. You can turn on to this particular podcast, for example, and tune into these frequencies, you see, of remembrance, of your heart, of love, of goodness, you see. And a deeper level of trust that no matter what it looks like in the external reality, that God has us. And when I say God, I mean all, you see, that there is an interconnectivity within all frequency that we are all a part of. And if we can just trust ourselves, you see, because when we do not trust, you see, when we are in fear, it means we do not trust. We're trying to control. And what are we not trusting? We are not trusting ultimately an aspect of ourself, you see, because it is another reflection of you, you see. So going within and taking that part that feels afraid, that feels like it can't trust, that does not feel safe, taking that inside and actually looking at it and say, well, what is this frequency within me that I do not feel safe with, that I do not feel like I can trust? And actually tuning into that, because that is the internal place where you do have the power, you see, is to actually come into right relationship with that frequency that is creating an experience of fear, because there is a deeper place that does not trust yourself in that capacity of what it looks like externally. When you work out all these pieces within yourself, then when you start to look around you, no matter what it looks like in the external reality, there is a different relationship. There's a different experience that you are now having with what you are seeing and what you are hearing and what you are experiencing in the world around you. There's a deeper level of peace at it, because even if you don't agree with it, you see, there's a deeper place of trust where you're like, God has it. We've got it. We've all got this together. We know what we're doing. And to actually trust that souls are coming in very, very clear, very specific, very intentional, you see, no matter what role they're playing, the good side or the bad side, whatever way you want to look at it, you see. It is all intentional, you see. And it is all for love, you see. And this is the part that when we can really come back into the remembrance of all of this is happening for us as a collective and as individuals, this is where it gets good, because then we see it is all for love. But you have the power to choose whether you focus on the fear or the love. This sounds simple in theory, you see. Oh, we've heard this before, you see. But are you practicing it? Are you practicing it? Are you switching off the news, you see? Are you going to events that are going to be uplifting your soul? Are you surrounding yourself with like-minded people who uplift you in frequency and vibration? Are you putting foods into your body that are uplifting you in frequency and vibration? You see, are you bringing in more experiences that are anchoring your heart in the frequency of love? Because the more that you provide these kinds of feedback loops in your reality, the more this is going to become your natural resting state. And this is what we need more of in our world, is humans that are willing to have their natural resting state be in the frequency of love. And this is really the only thing we need you to do, you see.
Yes, 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 I do see. Well, I think all of that was a mic drop moment. Thank you.
We will not drop the mic. We promise. We're being very careful.
Yes, very good. We'll place the mic gently. Thank you so much. Hey, who said that Daina has all the humor? You do too.
We were going to say the same thing.
Yes. Thank you so much, Mother Mary, for your presence today. Unfortunately, we do live in a 3D world where time exists to us. So I do need to invite Daina back in, but I cannot wait to reconnect with you and Mary Magdalene another time. Thank you so much.
We are in the deepest gratitude for you holding this container and bringing this message to more people to be in the remembrance of the love. It is a blessing and an honor to speak with you, and we will hopefully speak again very soon, my dear. Oh, well, that was quite interesting. This is Daina of the Pleiadian family, back to close the container. We know we have to get the show on the road, so to speak. You see, we have the things to tie up on all the loose ends. You see, we have the time here in this world, you see. So how was that for you, my dear Maria?
Profound. And I know that, as you mentioned before, re-listening, when I go to edit this, I will know even more than I did just listening. It's beautiful. It's beautiful.
Yes, and for everyone, you see, it is not even about the knowledge, you see. It's not even about the understanding. It is about really being in your heart, you see. This is one of the practices that the Magdalene takes everyone through. First initiation, you see. Can you listen and speak through the heart, you see? Because this is really limitless, you see. You go into the mind, you see, well, then you have a cap on it, so to speak. But when you come from the heart, you are in the infinite realm of possibility. So it is not even about what we are saying or what the information is, or if you understand it, or if you agree with it, or anything like. Really allow yourself to just be in the frequency, you see. Because this is what is really going to support you as you do your growing and your remembering and your good work in the world for everyone, you see, just being in the frequency. So you can just turn on the Daina anytime you need a little bit of a boost for your day, you see, just like that, you see. Perhaps, you see, it's very good. It's very good to do, you see, because that's why we come. It's why we're here, you see. We're here to help, you see. Remember the frequency of love, you see, and what the power it has, you see. And how simple it can be, you see. These are the simple things, you see. The choice point between all of these different frequencies, you can choose the love every time, you see. And what a better world we get to live in then.
Yes. Thank you so much, Daina. We really appreciate it.
Well, it is very, very good. You see, we'll bring back Ava. You know, you have the timing, you see, but we will send a little blessing here from the Pleiadians for all of you to be in the deep remembrance of love in your hearts, to really allow yourself to focus your energies, your time, and your placement on the planet on that which fills your heart with love. Blessings from the Pleiadians, from Daina here, from the entire Living Ma Collective. We love you all very dearly, and we hope to be together again very, very soon. Blessings.
Oh my gosh. I just want to cry.
That happens.
Oh, just the explosion of love there. I wish we didn't live in a world with time. Womp womp.
I know. Well, we can do this again anytime.
I would love to. They are just, I don't have words. Thank you. Thank you so much for being here.
It is really my deepest honor and pleasure. And thank you for having me. It's been a joy.
Thank you for joining the Reluctant Medium podcast today. I hope that this episode has brought you beautiful, high vibration, and that it continues emanating from your heart space for the rest of the day and beyond. Don't forget to join the Reluctant Medium on patreon.com, and you can also visit thereluctantmedium.us and the Reluctant Medium TV show on newrealitytv.com. Until next time, my friend, may you be well.